we started up, and if anybody doesn't know who this is, it's Bill Ottman. He's the CEO and the founder of the Minds app, which is so cool, and we're gonna definitely get into it later. But we're gonna just start with Bill. And what's up, dude? Where'd you grow up? Where'd you come from?
So born in New York City, but grew up in Norwalk, in Harborview, which is right on the water.
Yeah.
Really cool spot.
Beautiful, yeah.
Yeah. College UVM.
Nice.
That's kind of where Minds first started happening, and we would basically do like music festivals / forum, blasting out whatever messages people were trying to get out, and,
cool.
and having a party after. We actually ended up getting UVM to divest from like multiple weapons manufacturers. That was really a great initial experience. Like Minds has always been about bringing people together and just doing whatever the community wants to do.
Yeah, he was, dude. Isn't that sick? I was like,
Yeah.
this last summer, I was like, dang, we should go. We couldn't. But regardless, I know we started up, and if anybody doesn't know who this is, it's Bill Ottman. He is and I'm just getting this out of the way so we could keep going. But he's the CEO and the founder of the Minds app, which is so cool, and we're gonna definitely get into it later. But we're gonna just start with Bill. And what's up, dude?
What's up, man?
Hey. I just always like to get into like where someone came from, because you can find out a lot about a person, from that. So why don't you tell us? I know Tony and everybody here and everyone who's watched is gonna be interested. But where did you grow up? Where did you come from? And how did this whole Bill Altman journey begin?
So born in New York City, Manhattan, but grew up in Norwalk, in Harborview, which is right on the water.
Yeah,
it's a really cool spot.
Beautiful, yeah.
Yeah. Really enjoyed growing up there. It was just like this small neighborhood, everybody riding bikes in the streets, just like wandering away from home.
Stranger Things vibes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was so good. Just being able to go explore the beach, go to the playground, like no parental supervision from a very young age.
Yeah.
And so that's where it started. Then moved to Wilton when I was like 10. Went to Wilton High School, played hockey, lacrosse.
Yeah.
Got into trouble.
Yeah.
And then I actually went to boarding school for the rest of
because of getting in trouble? Or
no,
just
actually,
like
I got
right
lucky and got into a good boarding school. I got good grades.
Right.
But I, still got into trouble too.
Yeah.
So, but then I went to Hotchkiss, which is
cool.
a boarding school in northwestern Connecticut.
Yeah.
Which is a crazy place. It's like beautiful.
Yeah.
It's like a college.
Like Zoe 101 vibes. Like if you're going to high, I don't know if you ever seen it.
I haven't seen that show.
Crazy.
No.
It's like a dope high school experience, basically. Like boarding school, nothing like it. Movie type of vibe.
Yeah, movie type vibe.
Yeah.
Sort of Dead Poets Society
yeah,
vibe.
Okay. Got it.
But if you get caught partying, you get kicked out. So you cannot party.
Those are like...
I like snuck through a couple times unscathed,
and then, like,
but you're just so paranoid. It's not worth it.
24/7. Yeah.
So that's too bad. But you can go home on weekends, and people do that. Like all through the woods, there's these crazy old cabins. One's called Terrapin, so it's all like dead vibes because they're all built in like the '60s.
That's cool.
And like I had a crazy English teacher who would get up on desks. This dude, Mr. Frankenbach, and
just like passionate.
Yeah, totally passionate.
Yeah.
Just
No
classes
captain,
are
my captain.
Yeah. And classes are like 5-10 people around a table.
Wow.
So it's very
intimate.
Yeah. Learned a lot. Great school.
Yeah, so I was going to say, you're going to definitely learn.
Definitely learned to write there. And
college
UVM.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
Loved it. Burlington is the shit.
Yeah.
It's the best city.
Yeah.
One of them.
Yeah.
Up there. Certainly one of the most beautiful.
Yeah. We just were in Boston. I think that place is beautiful. I haven't been there in years, and it's so clean, dude. I can't compare to New York City. It's like night and day.
I know, it's a shame.
It doesn't seem like a city, Boston, to me, compared to.
Well, it's so like old, it's historic and stuff.
I know.
So.
I'm just saying it's so beautiful. Like it's well kept.
Yeah.
It is. I agree. So I lived up there for a while. That's kind of where Minds first started happening. We were doing these live events, me and a couple buddies, and we would basically do like music festivals / forum, and we held them. The audio is kind of coming in and out just a little bit.
That's gonna be.
It might be the cord.
jack on you.
Oh, it's just the jack.
If you push it a little bit, it might just be a little
maybe.
loose.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
So
What year was this?
This was in like I graduated in 2008, so this was like 2006.
And you stayed. You lived there.
I lived there for
Yeah,
a few
okay,
years
okay, cool,
after.
cool.
Yeah. And we would like get a bunch of musicians, kind of do open mic style in City Hall Park in Burlington.
Mm-hmm.
It was really just, blasting out whatever messages people were trying to get out and,
Cool.
and having a party after. And then we did one at UVM, which was a little bit more serious, where we got all professors and student government, student groups, and also did music at the end. But we talked about what the university was invested in and like analyzed their stock portfolio. If you look at most universities' stock portfolios, it's like disgusting.
Like where the money goes. or
Yeah,
whatever?
where they're all invested in.
Yeah.
All kinds of shady corporations and just like odd companies that don't seem to
Makes sense why that you guys are involved together. School.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like I'm paying my school money to invest in education.
Right.
Like, why do you have this? Why are you investing in like
oil.
Exxon and
Yeah,
Walmart
yeah.
like weapons manufacturers,
Weird.
Raytheon, General Dynamics, Lockheed Martin. Like,
and this is not. You're just saying in general, not UVM, but you're saying
well,
there are schools.
UVM, yes, and most schools
Wow.
have they have stock portfolios.
Yeah.
They have endowments.
Yeah.
They invest that. And so that was a really cool experience. We actually ended up getting UVM to divest from like multiple weapons manufacturers,
Wow.
like with the help of student groups, and we made that happen. And so that was really a great initial experience. Like mine's always been about bringing people together and just doing whatever the community wants to do.
Right.
Like different initiatives, different art,
Yeah.
whatever. And yeah, like
Wait, but Minds wasn't in your mind yet.
no, it was.
Sorry, I know.
We were calling these events "Gathering of the Minds."
Cool. Like gathering of the vibes.
Yes,
Like,
it was kind of
get to play off-
inspired
that's
from
dope, dude.
vibes. And I'm actually like I worked at Gathering of the Vibes.
Yeah.
Right after I left Vermont,
We actually talked about that. We
Yeah.
were at this. He was working a show. I was at.
Yeah.
I was at the Gathering of the Vibe, staying for the like sleep for 4 days, and he was at the same one. We didn't know
That's
each other.
so
obviously,
funny.
but it's when we
Yeah.
hung out last time, we talked about that. It's so
yeah.
funny.
So as soon as I left, I joined Gathering of the Vibes, where I was marketing director,
cool.
and we had like Damian Marley and Nas.
That was
I think Primus was there.
Yeah.
that
No
year.
kidding. Yep.
And
Yeah,
then
dude, they had-
and further.
yeah.
Yeah.
They had great lineups, dude, and like
Yeah.
all types, not just even like even just like jam bands too. Were just like
Oh yeah. It's a
You
great.
didn't know who they
reggae,
were. And you're like, oh,
funk,
yep,
rock, blues,
all of it for the
was great.
whole week. Basically, it was dope.
So, yeah, I mean, Vibes is a huge inspiration.
Yeah.
They aren't going on anymore. Outdoor music festivals are just madness.
Yeah.
It's insane to organize.
I know.
Also because, we were doing like these mini festivals up in Vermont, and you just get so demoralized after, like, when the weather is bad, because you're literally putting like 6 months of energy into organizing this singular event. Maybe it'll be a few days,
Yeah.
but you're just banking so much on the universe.
Yeah.
Literally, the ticket sales will be like half if it rains, or so it's just the difference of having a sustainable business or not.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that was just grinding on the Vibes people, is definitely grinding on me with the Gathering of the Minds we were doing. And so I just basically realized that, to zoom back a little bit, at UVM, that's kind of when Facebook was just starting to take off.
Okay.
And I was really like grossed out by the whole thing early on. Like just seeing how people were so addicted to it so quickly.
Yeah.
I was just very skeptical of the whole thing. Not to say that there was no value.
Were you into MySpace at the time, before it?
a little bit?
But
But like just like
the vibe for MySpace was different too, honestly, than Facebook. It was more of a creative,
more musical.
way more music, and that's
Yeah.
what it is today. It's just a music platform thing,
I know,
which is so
I know.
funny,
It's-
right?
It's like a struggling platform. It like barely works.
I can't believe it's still up.
I know.
Honestly.
Well, they got a bunch of investment later, I think, with like Justin Timberlake and stuff. This was after that movie, The Social Network, came out, And they tried to
Revamp
reinvigorate
it, yeah.
but it's just I don't know what happened.
It's a mess.
They couldn't do it.
Tom
And-
left, and that was it. Literally.
Yeah.
He left. I think he just travels the world now.
They're doomed without Tom.
Yeah, he is it for that. So funny.
I guess I just was skeptical of where big tech. I mean, it wasn't even big tech back then.
Yeah.
Like big tech barely existed. Like
Silicon Valley wasn't a big thing yet, like how it is now. It's like, Jesus, it's scary how it's like a machine.
So, but then I realized that basically there was this split on the internet between like open source, cypherpunk, like crypto anarchists, crypto,
Vigilante kind of.
Yeah, vigilante, but also like organizers, not necessarily left wing or right wing,
Yep.
like just organizers and people who cared about freedom and like human rights,
Right.
and stuff like that. And that made me realize that you could build a network there was no social network that was really doing that. Like open source, there was like you had Wikipedia, you had like Firefox, the browser. These were like more tools that were in the interest of the user.
Search
So-
engines, basically, right? Yeah. It's all the open source ones. It's crazy to me that Wikipedia, you could just I could go in there and be like, yeah, Bill Ottman farts in his sleep or whatever. It's like it's up there now until it's changed.
No, yeah. There's actually this woman is sort of has hijacked the Minds Wikipedia channel a little bit, and she will just like puts all this political nonsense in there.
Oh my gosh.
And she'll like.
How do you get rid of someone? You can't, right?
It's really hard because
Yeah.
I don't exactly understand how the governance works with the admins on Wikipedia, but there's definitely like people establish reputation and then it's really hard to override their changes. So you need to really like get in deep in order to have influence. It is theoretically possible. And to be honest, I want to try more to get involved in Wikipedia. It does seem like some ideology has leaked into the organization because like a lot of articles are sort of being gatekept by these editors and a lot of wrong information is getting put up about people. And even if the person comes up and provides evidence that this is not true about me, this is my article, like, please, I want to fix this. You can't.
Yeah.
So, but
And most
I
people
do
go to
respect
Wikipedia.
Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Like, because it's old school.
Yeah.
It really changed the world. The fact that it has become what it has, like, it's a very small organization relatively. And it's
Yeah.
literally like one of the primary sources of information for the whole planet.
Literally. I was
Yeah.
just going to say, most people go, like, they search on Google, Wikipedia comes up first,
Yep.
and they just read that
Yep.
first.
And it's mostly good.
Yeah. It's mostly factual,
But there's just
right?
little like for us, they tried to call us like right wing, and it's just so annoying to me because we just aren't.
Yeah.
And like so because like a handful of our users are, suddenly they're gonna like apply that
That's
to
who
the
you
company.
guys are, right? Yeah.
It just seems such shallow, lazy
Journaling,
mentality.
yeah.
Journalisming.
Yeah,
Have you heard of that phrase?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That's
it's-
what I'm saying. It's lazy for there are no journalists anymore. Actually, like there are no real journalism.
Yeah, there really isn't.
Journalism anymore. Like it doesn't exist. They get told what to basically write up and push out there in a lot of these places.
Did you watch the correspondence dinner at all? Any of
no.
the segments?
No.
So there's actually this good clip. So Trevor Noah spoke, who is a smart guy. And he gave actually a really good speech about free speech and like Biden's right there, and he made this really funny joke like, in the U.S. we're lucky enough to not be sent to prison for speaking our minds, and then he's like, I'm not gonna be sent to prison, Joe. Like just like
being funny.
jabs him a little bit.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is really dark because meanwhile, no one's bringing up Julian Assange, and sort of some of the elephant in the room of the state of the corruption of media right now.
Yeah.
And so he objectively he gave a good speech, but because of what he omitted, it made it feel sort of dark.
Like they're in a club and we're not in it, and like it's like inside joke kind of, right, Joe? And like because they are.
It was like he was trying to prop them up and prop the country up for being
free speech country.
totally free speech.
Yeah.
And like, but just not acknowledging the sketchiness that is happening.
Right.
Which, so that's too bad. Obviously, they're going to do that though. And
Yeah, of course. What
Yeah.
do you expect? Like, what else do you expect from honestly all those?
I think that
celebrities?
Trevor literally thought he was giving a good speech, and I don't doubt his intent.
Yeah.
But I sort of doubt his aptitude for not realizing that he should be bringing up Julian Assange.
Right, and for people who don't
or
know.
other whistleblowers who
Right.
are, Julian Assange is a journalist who gets leaked information and publishes,
yeah.
and he redacts stuff, and it again, supporting Julian Assange's right to free press is different from like his character. A lot of people try to attack him for his personal life. And
Of course
stuff.
they're gonna.
Of
That's
course,
what they do.
I have no
yeah.
idea
Yeah.
the validity of any of that,
Yeah.
but the fact that the U.S. is like pursuing these charges against him
Right.
is just insane. And yeah,
Well, it's everything our country then doesn't stand for, essentially. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, we don't actually have free speech. We don't have free press.
I think we partially do.
Right.
We
I mean, I
do-
agree with that. I do.
Yeah.
I think which partial.
Yeah.
I mean, look at us right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What are we doing right now?
Yeah,
Like,
we're not
in-
worried about the government necessarily.
Just coming in right now and be like, and like taking everything and kicking.
And that
it.
absolutely is the situation in lots of other countries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But everybody go look at Australia right now. Like, it's crazy over there.
Yeah.
It's like second to China in terms of like the control the government has on the people right now. And they don't have this, they don't have certain rights we have.
I don't know
That's
about
scary.
second to China.
I mean, it's close, dude. It's crazy over there. Go look into it.
I've seen a bunch of the videos.
It's nuts, man. They're just like poor people over there. Can't get out. Can't
Well,
go
it's just
anywhere.
like the COVID hysteria is like taking control of the whole government.
Yeah.
And it's caused a level of authoritarianism to leak in.
Yeah, it's like martial law over there. It is in Australia right now. China, obviously, it is like duh, but
I think that people feel like it's justified temporarily because of COVID, and that's sort of the excuse that gets made.
like for us, no one to like care, bat an eye type of thing.
I mean, similarly, when you heard Jen Psaki, the White House press secretary, talk about how they were like telling social networks what to take down, or at least advising them what to take down, and that's where it's like really unknown what those communications actually were. Was the White House telling Facebook, Google, Twitter, like, you need to take down anything that
is XYZ,
XYZ
for against this? Yeah.
So we don't know. I want to know.
I want to know too. I mean, I'm sure they did. Like that stuff. All that, like, we've been lied to so much. Oh, not just like now. Like, let's go back in history, folks. And
Well,
it's-
that's why it is very exciting with, this isn't government disclosure, but with the whole Elon thing,
yeah.
buying Twitter, he is saying he's going to open source the code.
Wow.
And he's saying that he's going to audit a lot of the algorithms that changed. So actually, it is possible. And this is where I'm skeptical. I'm going to remain skeptical and hold Elon to account because he needs to follow through on this. But actually because when you open source code, you also get the version history of everything that changed in the code for the past however long.
Its existence.
Its
right.
existence.
Yeah.
So we should be able to see, they were demoting content with
Got
these
it.
words.
Right.
Or they were, this is...
You'll see
You'll see
exactly.
it. It's there.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Wow.
that's very exciting if
Whoa.
that gets exposed. That will be complete game changer for...
And then it'll
our
put pressure
understanding.
on all the other alpha, apps to
Oh,
show their cards too, basically.
Oh, for sure.
Right? Like, they're gonna feel the heat.
yeah.
Like, they're not.
And
not gonna,
we'll be able to, if this happens, and I'm holding my
Yeah.
breath, we will, so maybe around COVID time, we see that suddenly they started stopping spread of use of ivermectin or whatever,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then, the question would be like, okay, well, why?
Right.
Who decided
Who
this?
Yes.
Were you getting instructions from government? Was this internal
Yes.
policy?
Right.
What forces kind of
who's the source
Who are the
of
decision
this?
makers? Yeah, who's the source? And just like go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, yeah.
And the other crazy thing about Twitter, I don't know if you remember a few years ago when they got hacked and like a crypto
what's her name?
scam got posted on like Obama's account,
Yeah,
Kanye's account,
Yes.
Elon's account.
I remember this. Yeah.
So basically, and all of Twitter's DMs are totally transparent to the moderators. Like they can just go in and read your conversations.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I figured.
Yeah.
I figured, dude. Like
and I'm not
that
like
old CEO sketches me out with the beard now.
Dorsey. Yeah.
Talk about Hunger Games vibes. Are you kidding me? Look at him. Go look him up, Tony.
Yeah, he's
Look him up.
I've seen him.
I think that Dorsey has some. He's doing some good things, but he's mostly, you can tell, just covering up a long history of corruption.
If this goes public, he was a big part of
Oh,
those
for
years.
sure. Yeah, he was there. Yeah.
And I'm sure he was one of the people that was like, yeah, you know?
Yeah, we don't know. It's
can't
also
wait.
possible.
That's
I mean,
dope.
we know that there have been free speech wars within Twitter because it's a huge company.
Yeah.
So it's not like just like 100% groupthink. Everybody is in the camp of take down all the content. Like Twitter used to be much more free speech. They had a slogan, "We're the free speech wing of the free speech party," and then they obviously
Abandoned
ditched that.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, Elon called for end-to-end encrypted apps the other day, like Signal, so that Twitter's messages would be encrypted. That's how it is on mine. I don't want access to people's messages.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
I know.
Why would that's
I know,
sketchy
I know.
to want that.
I know.
So, and that's just the standard. I mean, all of your Gmail messages, all of your Facebook chats by default getting scanned.
Yeah.
It's not like there's a dude sitting there necessarily.
Yeah, it's like an
reading your
AI
stuff.
program
Yeah,
or
it's a
whatever.
program
Yeah.
that's understanding what is being said.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually,
exactly.
our links to minds.com were restricted in Facebook Messenger for like a year. So when you posted a link to Minds,
like to send to someone?
yeah, to send someone, this modal would pop up with like a CAPTCHA, and then it would say, this site is potentially unsecure, is what it was saying. Then, luckily, has like sensitive content or something, some weird scare message.
Yeah.
So, luckily, I can't say who, but I know somebody who knows somebody there. And this was after like a year. Finally, we got in, and we got it lifted.
Yeah.
Because we were like, this is just false. Like, there's nothing that this is based on. And so we found out that we were put on like a blacklist.
Yeah. That's fucking crazy.
And it's very much this, friend of a friend kind of situation with like the favors being done for different brands and who's getting
Got it.
elevated. Just the fact that we were even able to achieve that sort of proves.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's lifted now. But a lot of damage was done. I mean,
Yeah.
think about everybody trying to,
Get to the
post our
app.
link, and then they get this scary message. They're like, "What the hell?
I'm not gonna go.
I'm not going to go there."
Yeah.
It's like very damaging.
Yeah.
So
I know. You get first impressions.
there was another funny story where we were suspended from the Google Play Store for like 6 months one time, just because some photo of like a girl in a bikini may or may not have had a nipple shown. But it was behind a sensitivity filter. We do have those, because we don't want people seeing crazy stuff who don't want to.
Right.
But anyway, eventually I sent an appeal email to Google, and I was like, you realize that full-blown porn is allowed on Twitter?
Yeah.
And we were up
Yeah.
days later.
Wow.
Because here's the crazy thing is that, so people don't really realize that porn is allowed on Twitter, which
Yeah.
is weird.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you're so restrictive about like certain speech, but then you're cool with porn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that's bad. Like, if People versus Larry Flynn, porn is absolutely protected speech.
Yeah.
As long as it's not like sex trafficking.
Right.
So, because what I said to them is like, are you gonna ban Twitter?
Yeah.
Like suspend Twitter if you're gonna like they have full blown stuff. You just
Saw a nip.
yeah, you saw a little nip.
Yeah.
I mean, free the nip.
Yeah. Exactly. There's a movement. In the city, it's crazy in the summer.
Did you know that?
Nips everywhere.
I know.
Did you know that men? This is a fun fact. Actually, back in like the early 1900s, men actually had to fight for the ability to wear bathing suits that showed their nipple. That was like
Really?
it was like a rule. And like if you look up old pictures of men, they would wear these like suspenders style swimming trunks, yeah.
Oh my god.
So-
To cover the nipple.
To cover the
that-
nipple, yeah.
Were they
yeah.
like the one piece one? Like
Yeah, it was
that
like a
women
one-
have. Oh,
Not similar,
Similar?
not the
Not
same.
as like feminine,
Yeah,
probably looking.
Yeah.
right, but yeah.
But like men had to
That
get
fight
the
for-
right. So
yeah.
we gotta keep the struggle alive.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. Free the nip.
So yeah, it's just hypocrisy everywhere. Like, but obviously Google Play or App Store, the Apple Store, they're not gonna ban Twitter.
No.
They can't do that. There's too many people using it. So, but the App Store terms are incredibly restrictive with that kind of stuff. So
It's so
they're
crazy.
just playing games.
Right.
They're like, oh, you're gonna get banned, but even this big tech app, even though they're breaking the rules, they can be there
Because they're bigger.
because they're bigger.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know how we got into
No,
that.
it doesn't.
Yeah,
It's just crazy how it all. There's so much underneath that a lot of people don't know and honestly don't even want to even bother.
But I want to hear your skepticism of Elon.
I just man, anytime someone has a lot of money and power, and he does good things, right? Sure, and but
Sure.
yeah, like the test.
Couple things, Sam.
Yeah, but just I don't know, man. I just think everything's a little too good to be true with him, and he does have some history, and then not like history like he I don't care if someone fucked up in their past. Like I don't care about that stuff.
Right.
I just don't like when people hide stuff. Like basically, like we were just talking about. Like why are you hiding stuff? Like there's no when you do hide something that means there's something sketchy.
What is it that you're concerned that he's hiding?
I don't know. I just think he's not actually a good dude.
Oh.
And I think
wow.
I know, and I just think
Wow, going right to the character assassination.
I don't know, man. If I were someone who had a lot of access to my word was powerful. When he tweets, it's crazy. He could drop a company and he could make a company go big or whatever. I don't know. I just would help more. I wouldn't be I don't know. There's a lot more to do on Earth. Let's put it that way. You know what I mean? Than trying to get to Mars with all your money.
Well, I will say that he does give billions of dollars to charity.
Right. Yeah. But it's I don't know. Just watch when something.
Have you ever heard of effective altruism? The
No.
effective altruism movement?
No.
It's like this new type of charity that's emerging where, you basically pledge a percentage of your net worth or income to, you can kind of put it where you want. I learned about it through Sam Harris, but it's this whole movement sort of pushing people to just be more passive about charity and just put it on recurring.
Yeah. So it's not in your face or something.
Yeah, it's not in your face.
Yeah.
It's just done, and then you can kind of breathe easy because it's just
It's
happening.
almost just like breathing.
Yeah, it's just breathing. It's just a part of your life. Yeah.
You just know, hey, in the background that my money is going to somewhere good right now.
Like a direct deposit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sort of
yeah,
deal.
just automated.
Yeah.
And because people make such a big deal about it, and they're like, oh, I don't know. So it's just you want to find your charities that you're down with,
Passionate
and then,
about, yeah.
and then just put it on recurring. So that movement is getting really huge with a lot of billionaires. And yeah, I mean, I think that we just have to put in perspective, what are the chances even that one of the richest people in the world talks about the things that he's talking? You wouldn't even expect
know.
that there would be any major elite figures who are shit posting memes and talking about
And that's I think
culture
part of the
wars.
shtick, though.
It is, but would you
know?
rather not have that?
No, I'm not saying that, but I just want people to be real. I'm curious if who he is who he is. And like you said, if he does do the thing with Twitter, making it open source or whatever, that will be all right, it's a good sign for me.
Sure,
That's
sure.
a behind the scenes thing. Like, and if he doesn't do that, that's sketch. Like that's
If he
sketch.
doesn't follow through, that's definitely
Yeah,
sketch.
and if like that other dude comes back, because I heard that in the I keep forgetting his name.
Dorsey.
If he doesn't do it, and then Dorsey comes back,
yeah,
agreed.
agreed.
I'm pushing you guys away from me.
Dorsey is, I think he knows he messed up.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and you start to see with some of his recent posts that he's starting to position that,
Mm-hmm.
acknowledging some of the errors. He's big into Bitcoin now,
Mm-hmm.
and that matters a lot
Mm-hmm.
because, he could easily just go on to the next random big tech company and not be supporting something like Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that Elon bought $2 billion worth of Bitcoin and
Wow.
put it on Tesla's balance sheet, bringing crypto to Twitter is a big deal.
Yeah.
So if and that started to happen, and if it happens more, that is a game changer for the world. So anyway, I think that all these people are shades of gray, and we just got to. Yeah, I agree. I mean, you don't. It's like we shouldn't have to endorse somebody's entire character to say, oh, okay, this
Right.
thing that you're doing is cool.
Yeah.
Solar panels are cool.
Right.
Doesn't mean like I endorse everything about you.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Like I'm cool with the stuff. Like I love the tunnel system, highway system underneath LA. Like that's cool. Like I love these things, but it's just like there's just certain things like I like to know. Like I don't know. I'm not a secretive person. Like I will let you know everything. You know what I mean? Because I don't need to hide anything.
I need to see this. Like, has he ever been asked?
Yeah, no. I mean, I'd love to talk to him. I would love to sit here and ask him all these deep questions. To be honest, but one day maybe.
Yeah.
But
That'd be cool.
yeah, it'd be sweet.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'd like the studio.
Yeah.
It's chill.
Maybe.
Nah, maybe not. Not enough. Like
No, he's very like one of the things I appreciate, not to be like, Mr. Fanboy, but like he'll go on random podcasts. Like he went on the Babylon Bee podcast, which and apparently part of the reason that he decided to buy Twitter was because he saw that they had been suspended because they,
Yeah, they
they
post.
made some post.
Oh, so much.
And I mean, they're hilarious.
They are. No, I love them. We
they're-
follow them on the Minds app actually.
Oh, nice.
Because I know we could always
Yeah.
get their stuff there.
Yeah, they are. It's kind of funny that Bill Maher poked at them the other day because like they're this like Christian satire site.
Yeah.
It's like kind of odd to me that they feel the need to like inject the Christianity
I
into
know.
the satire.
I know
like,
it's weird.
It's fine. I absolutely respect their right to
Yeah,
do
of
that.
course,
It's-
of
but
course.
It's like
I don't know.
most of the headlines that I see from that, almost none of them have to do with Christianity.
I know.
So
I
it's
know.
like you're making that front and center of your like brand.
Was that and that like correct me if I'm wrong, but that was the Elon episode. He like they asked him to like accept Jesus into his life or whatever. Was that?
I didn't watch the whole thing. Did they do that?
Yeah.
No.
Dude, and like he did. Yeah, sure. Why not? Blah, blah.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he didn't care. But it's like it's just like that to me. Like is invasive. Like I don't know. I'd
Yeah,
rather.
if you did that to me right now,
Oh my God, dude! Right now, will you accept Jesus? No, it's like I don't know, man. It's like if those people were, if Elon after the show was like, dude, can you pray for me? That's chill. But to be like cameras rolling, like it's like,
I have
and then
to
he's
look up
just
that
like,
clip.
he's just like, you know how he thinks in his head, and he's like, yeah, Jesus is a good guy. Yeah, I'll accept Jesus. It's like, what is he gonna say?
well, it's like, what does that even mean? Like,
I know.
Okay.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, are you asking me to be a fundamentalist right now? Are you asking me to
actually practice the faith.
practice? Or are you asking me to like theoretically, like, does he seem like a cool revolutionary dude that
Yeah.
may or may not have existed?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's like how I feel like Elon processed it.
Yeah, that was
you know
his-
what I mean? The last one is like, yeah, he's cool. He didn't exist. Yeah, he's cool. He was all good, But yeah, dude. So I'm actually curious. So after the festivals, especially Gathering the Vibes, because Gathering the Minds was before that. What? Because you started in 2011, and app launched in 15. So, I mean, what year was that? 09? So 09 to 11,
The
basically.
year of Vibes
of the last
was
one.
2010.
Okay.
That was the year I worked there, and then after that, it was basically full time in Minds.
Yeah. So tell me about that. Like, what made you be like, all right, app, this, now I'm going to start doing this, and just kind of drop anything else I was trying to do?
I just couldn't work for anybody else.
Yeah.
Ultimately.
Yeah.
And just knew that, we put together like a small friends and family round, which was essential.
Mm-hmm.
So, as soon as you pull together some funding, you decide to go at it. And I actually did get screwed over by one of the first developers that I ever worked with.
How so?
He just lied to me for a year.
With what? Like, just
I didn't
like,
know anything. I didn't know any better.
Right.
And he was just like, "Oh yeah, we'll have like the whole thing done like next month." And then it's like next month.
Next. Oh, and it kept going.
It just kept going. It just kept. And
That's the worst.
He was just
It's like
full-
Tony.
Yeah, it's just
Try to hang out with him.
he was just full
not
of
true.
shit the whole time, and it was he lied, told me he had brain cancer.
Oh my God.
He would come over with bloody noses, and like one time he literally sent me a photo of like I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
But he told me that he had glioblastoma, which is like serious form of brain cancer, and he sent me this like bloody strip. I don't know what it was, but he told me that he like pulled part of the tumor out of his nose one time. I'm such a moron.
Yeah.
Do you know? I'm so stupid.
And you were like feeling bad.
Dude, my whole family was like feeling bad, and that's why we were cutting him so much slack.
Yeah.
On
Like, wow, this dude's on
the
his
code.
deathbed,
We're
and
like,
he's
oh,
making our.
yeah, we're like, he's gonna come through, like, just like
He's gonna survive this
success
and finish our
story.
app.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So how did it like unfold?
Ultimately,
Yeah.
So I talked to somebody,
Yeah.
very close to him,
Mm-hmm.
who basically told me that they also thought it was all full of shit, and there was no way that he would have lied, with the cancer. Like they just, anyway, it all. I eventually got confidence enough knowing that they also thought he was full of it.
Yeah.
That we ripped off the Band-Aid. And
Yeah.
it wasn't easy, but we got through it, and you kind of need something like that to happen to you. It forced me to get much more involved in the code.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
in the development process,
Yeah.
and not just like expect anyone else to handle that.
Yes.
So, but it was brutal. I mean, it was devastating. That's so much time. I helped him out so much too, and it was a total betrayal. But
Yeah.
we got through it.
Yeah. And then so you got your new developer. Let's say around 20. Let's push it up to like 14 because the app launched in 15. What's going on? You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I met my partner
Yeah.
Mark, who's our CTO now.
Yeah.
And I met him when he must have been like 19, but I found him on this forum, and I just knew that he was super smart.
Mm-hmm.
And we just synchronized, and we were able to work together very fluidly. Like I would, help flesh out the specs and the design, and he would build it, and we had this very harmonious relationship where, I mean, he's just like a genius coder and developer. And that's really what you need to be successful with any technology company is you need a full stack engineer who is a founder, and then you need somebody who is, more on the business end of things. But like that changed the game. And
Yeah.
and as soon as that happened, we started to actually produce tech, and we
Yeah.
had an app.
Yeah.
So when we had an app, people started coming.
Yeah.
And then
It's
it started,
crazy.
yeah. But that's every company now really is a tech, even if they don't want to admit it, like they should be a technology company. If your company isn't focusing on technology,
You're not gonna last.
you're not going to last. No.
It's going too fast.
I was thinking about it this morning. It's crazy to me that all the establishment media, legacy media, ABC, CNN, Fox,
MSNBC.
MSNBC, all the alphabets.
Yeah.
There's not a single one that is actually a technology leader. Like social media basically took over distribution, and now everybody's getting to those sites through social media.
Right.
But those sites could have dominated everything.
I know.
They have billions of dollars.
I know.
Endless resources. They could have easily pivoted to just like build tech.
Yeah. And then no Apple, no nothing, no,
Would have gotten
no
past them.
Instagram, right? Nobody. That's like Blockbuster and Netflix.
Yeah.
Blockbuster could have killed it, dude.
Yep.
They fucked up.
It's very common. Once a
mad.
company gets that big, it's just really hard for
For them
it
to want to grow more,
or
what
to
is
just
it?
they get stuck.
Yeah.
And they get kind of
Fat.
complacent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The pockets get full. The hunger gets, less and less, I guess.
It's just shocking though to have billions of dollars and
Seeing
be
too,
so
they're ahead
wasteful.
of and they're ahead of the curve too. You know that they know what's coming too. Like
Right.
they knew big tech was. They knew apps were going to be a move. Blah blah. Like they're idiots
Right.
actually. Now you were totally right. That's bad.
It's crazy
Yeah,
that
it's nuts.
not even a single one, even still,
Yeah.
has really good tech.
Yeah.
I mean, can you if you had to think of a media company what media company has the best tech that you can think of, like on their own site?
You got anything?
No, not really.
No, like you don't
Oh,
go.
yeah.
The only one, to be honest, the only one I can think of, and they're not even good, but I do play Wordle.
Mm.
And like have you played Wordle?
Tony's
Oh, yeah.
obsessed.
Like every day almost.
Yeah, every day.
Yeah.
Do you, I need to up my game into hard mode. I haven't done that yet. Do
Really?
you do hard mode?
No, I'm on the regular mode.
Oh yeah.
No wonder you think you're smart.
I know. I'm like every day. I'm like, yes, again. Dude, like, let's go.
I haven't done it, but I think it's necessary to do to,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what
So-
I've been playing though? Quordle. Have you played Quordle?
Is that the music one?
No, that's Hurdle.
Oh my god.
Quordle is you're playing 4 Wordles simultaneously.
Okay,
So your
basically an
guess
addict.
guesses for all 4
Of Wordle.
And you have 8 guesses, I think, total. At that point, it's and then there's also Duo Trigordle, which is 32 of them,
Oh damn.
and that's outrageous.
Yeah.
I've never beaten that before.
I don't expect you to.
No.
Okay. Yeah, no, I got to go deeper. But anyway, I bring it up because New York Times bought Wordle for $100 million.
That's right. Yeah.
And that was smart.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the New York Times website is actually a smooth. They have good developers
Mm-hmm.
that work there, but it's not like a full blown app that like you would like. Do you have the New York Times app on your phone?
No, because don't you have to like pay?
Well, it's a subscription model.
Yeah.
So again, they just haven't changed. They're not a network.
Yeah.
They're a publication. They're not a
Right.
platform.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't make sense to me that none of them
I know it.
became a platform. They could have independent journalists all over the world like submitting content
Always.
on the ground
Yeah.
from everywhere, and they could have but just no.
Yeah. No.
Because I think that they're much more specific in the agenda and
Of course,
the
yeah.
narrative. They want
Yes.
control of the narrative. And what happens
Exactly.
when you have a network is you lose control because you are allowing all these voices
Yeah.
that you may or may not agree with
Right.
to come there, even though, you're going to have a greater audience. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to weigh that.
I know. I mean, yeah, I would do the latter, honestly. Forget that. Like, who cares? That's true. The agenda is definitely why they haven't done it. Like their own agendas, whatever each network
Right.
has. It's crazy, man.
Yeah. I mean, even with an agenda, they could still have
Troops on the field.
beastly,
Yeah.
beastly technology, so that like, hey, you want to be a New York Times reporter? Like in the same way that anyone can become an Uber driver.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Dude, download the app, fucking go get some crazy footage downtown Bridgeport.
Yeah, yeah.
Get the footage, upload it, and
Yeah.
then you could be
You'll
in
get
the,
money- you'll
in
get
the
your money,
running
yeah.
for, you could submit it, maybe get covered,
Yeah.
maybe not.
Yeah.
They could still have tech that facilitates journalism
Mm-hmm.
way better. So, yeah, I just don't
But that's
get
the
it.
other thing. They don't want real journalism. Like we just, we talked about earlier.
I think they do. They just want their own. They want it to agree with them. So it's not real, I guess.
Yeah. It's like, come on, dude. Like just,
Yeah, we've been covered a handful of times in there, and it's been interesting because a couple of times, like, you just see how the media works. Like, one piece was actually super favorable, and they were covering a lot of the work we did with Daryl Davis, who is the black man who helped hundreds of members of the KKK leave
Yeah.
by befriending them.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to cover that story in a negative way because it's just so badass.
Yeah.
And so we did get mentioned in that without any, caveats. But then in a couple of other articles about crypto and whatnot where we get mentioned, they say, Minds who, Vice covered as like having a problem with neo-Nazis. It's like, what? Like first of all, every social network in the world has those people. Even though they say that they've, banned them, they didn't.
Yeah.
They're still there.
Yeah.
So they're on everyone. Why are you saying that about us? And Vice is just the most disingenuous media publication of all
Oh,
time.
I hate Vice. So
Oh my
much.
God.
The worst.
They are the worst. They are
Ridiculous.
shameless.
Yeah.
They I literally talked to there's this one article that always gets linked and just you can see members of the media sort of coordinating and then they lean on these BS articles from another and they all link to it and it just becomes this like house of cards. But, the Vice reporters interviewed me for like 2 hours. I explained to them our whole philosophy. They didn't care at all. They didn't care about a single word I said. They just wanted to write the piece that they wanted to write. And, I don't care though. I literally don't care.
Yeah.
They are embarrassing themselves so badly by writing such slanted pieces.
Yeah.
Without nuance, without any understanding of anything of what
I
we're
was
doing.
gonna say
It's
anything,
just
yeah.
like, so, it is true that bad press can be good press.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that saying. It is true. Because, there are, I always believe there are intelligent people in the world that go do their own digging.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And those are the people that I want.
It's hard
Communicating
to accept that people are going to be misled about you. And it is understandable when people go after like defamation types of lawsuits. Like with this whole, have you been?
Come on, man. It's so,
Dude, let's get into
is it not a movie? Is it not?
It is a movie.
Like
That's why it's so good.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
He's like, the lawyer's like, did you not have your penis out in the foyer? And Johnny Depp's like,
Yeah.
are you kidding? Like,
Yeah. And I just watched the movie Blow so many times. I just love, his character.
yeah.
And it's so funny, man.
I know.
But I think, in that case,
Why is there?
at a certain point, it is
I got
sort
you
of
with something.
it is understandable to fight for the truth when you feel like the lies are just not going away.
Yeah.
And when they truly do have like damaging consequences. I mean, I could definitely argue that like some of the stuff that Facebook has done and some media pubs has been, it's just BS. But it's like the cost of fighting it is just not worth it.
Yeah, and they have unlimited money.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. That's how they always win. But I was gonna say, it's crazy how in this case, the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, we've got full blown media coverage. Like I'm talking multiple camera angles, and then
What about Epstein?
why would we have an illustrator for the Maxwell trials?
Right.
Like it's
Yeah, that's just pure politics.
it's crazy. Man.
Yeah,
It's
it is.
just like it's just so there must be like every time there's like some type of show like the Johnny Depp Amber, I'm just like what's actually going on? Like what's really going on? Like what bills are they passing? What's going on? Like what instead of this circus, which is entertaining, especially if you're on TikTok and you're scrolling through TikTok, you get a couple excerpts of the trial. It's hilarious.
Yeah, no, it's not to say that trial shouldn't be televised.
Right,
It's
I'm
it's
fine
more
with
so
that.
to say that others should.
Yes.
Particularly Epstein.
Especially with all the names on that are involved in this case. It's like it's crazy, man. It's just all bullshit.
It is. And I don't know, man. Like the guards just like struck a deal.
Definitely.
I saw I saw like 2 articles about them and it just got buried. But like no one knows who the guards have never been interviewed.
Yeah.
Like that's where we need to start.
Yeah.
I mean, they doctored the records and admitted it
Yeah.
and struck a deal. So
With who?
With who?
Right.
Who? Yeah.
Like, who is the person?
And they're probably trying to say, "Oh, we fell asleep and we didn't want to get in trouble. No one told us.
Right.
It was all our decision."
And the cameras were broken that
I
night.
know.
Like, oh, okay, dude.
Oh my God! When that case was unfolding, I was just like, "Oh!" And it's every time I'd be like, "Of course!" And the cameras?
Dude.
Are you kidding?
Someone forgot to hit record that night.
Like they're not recording all the time, 24/7. Ridiculous.
Yeah, it is
Ridiculous.
And it's like, how do you push that to a point where it actually gets the coverage it deserves? It does. It is a powerful meme. Like, it trends very often still.
Which one?
Like I feel like I'm constantly seeing Ghislaine Maxwell trending.
Oh, of course.
People,
dude.
so people are still
It's
talking
not-
about
yes.
it nonstop.
They're just
They
like-
can't stop it.
No.
That's the thing. Even if they don't televise it, it's so obvious that everybody is just still talking about it.
Yes.
So
And it's not far removed, and the case is still like the last thing we know is she's willing to talk, and that's what we know now. You know what I mean? She's got tried. She's found guilty about stuff, but she's now willing to talk about the list and everything more in depth and get people tried and shit. So it's just crazy, man.
So you think that people are going to go down?
If this comes out, it'll be probably like, I could see people just like their heads, just like you'll be walking and they'll be looking at their phone and then just all of a sudden it just explodes.
But wait, what is the most recent decision?
If I'm, you could look it up, but if I'm right, she's found guilty for a couple cases. I forgot what they were. And then after this decision was made, her lawyer contacted the judge and all that stuff and said she's willing to talk now more. Like, she wasn't the whole time. She was like, her attorney just kept saying, da 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 da, whatever. And then now it's like, finally. So we'll see. And honestly, the names on that list are crazy. It's a lot of names that people see a lot of. Like, I'm not even talking politicians. Put them out of the way. I'm talking
Those celebrities. Yeah. Chris Tucker.
Will Smith.
Right.
Tom Hanks. Beyonce. Jay-Z. The list goes on.
Dude, there
But
was
at
like
this-
production company, like Miramax was on there, right? Like a whole
The
company.
NYPD
honestly,
Police
to-
Department.
Yeah.
To play devil's advocate,
Yes, it's fine.
I do not think that everybody who went on the plane
what Solomon says.
is.
This is what he
Well,
says.
no, dude,
in a-
it's just a probabilistic reality that there's no way that every single person
Knew
is a
what was
pedophile
going on.
or knew what was
Yeah.
going on. No, absolutely not. There's all different kinds of parties.
I agree.
Parties going on there for decades.
Correct.
Some of which maybe had underage girls, and some of which did not.
Right.
And like, there's even people. A lot of people had meetings with Epstein, like Eric Weinstein.
Yeah.
tells a good story of when he got invited to his house, and he's like, he's not BSing anybody. Like, he's not a pedophile. He was
Yeah.
totally sketched out by it, but he
Yeah.
still met with him.
Yeah.
He's a billionaire. People take meetings with billionaires.
Yeah.
If they're a convicted pedophile, probably not the best idea.
Yeah, not morally probably the best idea for you.
But even I think there's a lot of legit people.
No, I believe
who came into contact with him.
Right. I'm on that boat too, but like, I mean, I just can't.
There's also many guilty people.
Yes, exactly. And I'm hoping, like, dude, that's all I want is just the truth out there, and that's it. Like, I don't get why it's so hard for people to just, like, in this world, it's fucking nuts. It's crazy. We can't get it anywhere.
I mean,
you have to
it's
dig
just-
deep.
You just feel powerless because whether you're talking about Epstein, whether you're talking about UFOs, whether you're talking about JFK, like whatever the conspiracy is, getting the information declassified, I think that's where everybody just like breaks down and gives up, because it is so complex to navigate like how to get classified information released. It's people just give up.
Yeah.
Because there's just so much bureaucracy involved.
Yeah. And the CIA, go to CIA.gov. They release a lot of.
That's a sick app.
Yeah, it's a great app. Yeah, we started it. But they release a lot of files and stuff. It's just people don't go and look. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they don't even go with well, because they also make it hard. Like there's this place called the Black Vault, which covers a lot of the, whenever UFO stuff gets declassified, this place, the Black Vault, like digs through what the CIA gives and like makes it a little bit more accessible. But like, I'm pretty sure that on the last big release, they released it on like a CD. Like you had to. They literally sent through like the Freedom of Information request. They sent it to the guy on a CD-ROM. Like they're literally burning a CD. Like no one does that.
No.
One, like
I remember doing that back in the day.
It was great.
Yeah.
You put a label on it.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, yeah, that was breakthrough when you could burn CD. But I'm like, the fact that they're not just like publishing it on their site in an easy way, I don't know. It's just like everything is in these weird formats, which is just like so archaic and like it's just intentionally difficult. I don't think it's because they're not capable. They just know that it's gonna, adding that friction just makes it harder for people. And so people aren't going to talk about it.
Exactly. No, totally, because people are lazy. We've gotten lazy. Our society is lazy. Look at America in particular, you know what I mean? The obesity rate's like, I think it's like 48, 50% of people are obese in America, like, or even more, I think it is. That's half. That's crazy. Like that just, your body, would tell you a lot about a person, and that's like, I see it all the time with people who don't want to dig deep, you know what I mean, with information and just to accept whatever it is. Yeah. Like with the whole COVID thing in the beginning, and I'm not going to sit here and say, whatever you want to do, I don't care. But like the fact that people started becoming doctors and scientists because they're like, right, and watch it, and then they're like, and then it's like, but they're not actually going to go do like the research and see, that, your grandma that you're worried about is got a 99% chance of survival right now. Back then, But that's what I'm saying. People don't want to research. People don't want to dig deep. But that's
there's
why.
Nothing worse than like deeply unhealthy people lecturing you about health.
Oh my God! Like all the people in our government who are like severely just look like
Bill
death.
Gates.
Oh, dude.
Dude, no one has a doughier stomach than Bill Gates.
Dude.
It is gross.
I know. He is evil. He's evil, that dude. It's just, I can't believe I used to when I was a kid.
Is that rain?
No, I think it's people up top.
Oh, up top. I thought that too. I was like,
hailstorm.
Yeah.
I think it is raining.
Yeah, he's just like, he's definitely
people
covering.
Go to, yeah.
He's hiding some stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But he's just so infused into that. They keep covering him. They keep like glorifying him.
Yeah.
And doing these huge pieces about him. And
like he's the second coming, dude, with all of his work that he's doing in the virology, department. It's like, I don't know.
He's just always struck me as, someone who has the wrong intent. If you look at Microsoft.
Yeah, he was evil. He had to rebrand himself.
Well, yeah, they are notorious for like stealing code and like making it secret. And they hated open source for years and years and years, and they were just like so against the whole concept. And then just recently, like with the new CEO, they've started to become a little bit more open because you can't deny it. Like literally, if you're a tech company and you're not involved in open source, like you are a dinosaur. Like you can't like not support Linux as like a major tech. Like they all use Linux now. So it's man, it's brutal. It's really gross that people take these people seriously.
I know.
I don't know.
I know, it's crazy. I mean, they all look like, celebrities to me. They're all like actors, you know what I mean? They're all acting in my eyes, you know what I mean? Especially we talked about it so many times, the Chris Tucker, Will Smith shit. That was so. Did you see that?
Chris Rock, you mean?
Yeah, Chris Rock. I'm sorry, Chris Rock.
Yeah, we talked about this when we hung out the other day.
Dude,
I don't think it's staged.
It's
not.
Come on. Tony, what do you think?
I don't think it was staged, dude.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think it was, honestly. It just looks too staged in the whole thing.
I feel like you can read the psychology of it like pretty clearly. Like,
but
he's a battered husband.
Right.
Yeah, I think
I get that.
They clearly have a marital issue. Clearly.
I see that, but whatever she had, whatever her
alopecia.
Oh, the ad.
Not only that,
But that could-
the medication
the
that
Oscars,
came out.
it came out a week later. The medication.
Pfizer came out
Pfizer
with the
came out,
medication.
and Pfizer's the main sponsor of the Oscars.
Yeah, but I mean, Pfizer is like a huge sponsor of like most
Anything.
mainstream
I know,
networks,
but they're
and they have
sketch.
thousands of drugs. I'm not saying that. I don't know. It also could be something like maybe the writers had, or the network had a copy of the speech. So if they knew that alopecia was going to be mentioned, it's kind of like ad targeting.
Mm-hmm.
If you know that something is going to be brought up, then you target an ad against it. So maybe there could have been something like that where they saw, oh, Chris is going to make
this
a
could
joke
be-
about
yeah.
alopecia. Let's do an alopecia ad.
Yeah.
It doesn't. So, but I think that, look, I agree with the idea of being skeptical by default of the government and of mainstream media. So I totally see where you're coming from. Like, they don't deserve trust.
Yeah, exactly.
So having the default sort of conspiracy view
You
is
don't blame
totally
me, but yeah,
justified.
yeah.
No, I think on any topic, the burden is really on the government and the big corporations to start being more transparent before they can expect anyone not to think they're full of shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Honestly.
So
And that's
yeah.
and that's what you guys are like. You know what I mean? That's why it's like it's what you guys are doing is so dope. Like, before Elon bought it, Twitter, I was like just hoping like that you guys would link because of, just it'd be dope for the Minds app.
I did have a conversation with someone from his team
Oh wow. That's sick.
a couple weeks ago.
I mean, that's sick,
So
dude.
hopefully we can make something happen. But like so I'm going to do you know Tim Pool? He has a show on YouTube called Timcast.
I got to see his face.
Elon
I think it
actually
sounds familiar.
Elon so he's a news commentator and journalist. He has a huge show on YouTube called Timcast IRL. And Tim is also like a really big user on Minds. And Elon posted a meme of so Tim debated Jack Dorsey and Vijaya, I forget her last name, the head of legal at Twitter. Tim debated them about censorship at Twitter on Rogan. It's a really good episode.
Wow.
Which I recommend.
I will.
He completely dismantled them because they're total hypocrites. Elon posted this funny meme sort of explaining that. And like it was this weird diagram showing like on like with Tim versus them on Rogan. But it's just crazy that he even posted that meme of Tim.
Yeah.
Tim was like freaking out. I was
Yeah.
and because that's a huge deal.
Yeah.
For him to be mentioned in that sense. And so the point of that, what were we saying before?
Tim.
Oh, so well, just
Oh, what were we talking about?
Yeah.
You talked with someone from Elon's team.
Yes.
It'd be cool if you guys linked
yeah,
up.
no,
Yes.
I just think that he is the fact that he is noticing that
Yeah.
is just it's all the right conversation that needs to be happening.
Right.
So even like he is setting himself up for such chaos and resentment from the community if he doesn't follow through with what he's saying.
Yeah.
Like what would be the point? He would instantly become a villain
Yeah.
if he didn't follow through.
I know.
So, I think we have to assume that unless he's a moron, he's going to follow through with what he's saying. The only thing I could see getting complicated is like, as the owner of a company, if you, as the owner of a company, find corruption in your company,
Right.
I don't know how it works with like a fiduciary responsibility, but like, what is your responsibility to disclose to the public the corruption versus like protect the company?
Right.
And I would argue that it's protecting the company more so to be transparent
Right.
and disclose to the users the past corruption so that that's not on you anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all in the past. I hope he takes that perspective because
Yeah.
what if he goes in and sees, oh my God,
this shit's
they
crazy.
they leaked everybody's conversations. Elon's like, oh, they read all my conversations. Oh, they sent them, to this person. Oh,
Oh
they
my
banned
God.
all these users unjustly. Like whatever he comes on, like with the Hunter Biden story getting taken down, like whatever caused that. I mean, that did have significant election influence.
Yeah.
The fact that got taken down.
I know.
So
that's ridiculous too. Like it's
yeah,
crazy.
they admitted it even.
Yeah.
But the damage is done.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if they admit it.
I know.
So you just hope that he doesn't get sucked into internal Twitter trying to convince him that it's in everyone's best interest if this XYZ information doesn't come out. Which I can't imagine he would want that on him.
Yeah, I don't think he would. I mean, I don't think he cares about Twitter like he cares about Tesla, for example, or SpaceX. Like those are his babies, you know.
Yeah, it's just crazy that
he owns
you
it.
could spend $44 billion. That is, you could buy countries for
That's what I'm saying. Like he could be doing a lot more with 44 bill, you know. And then I'm sure Mines isn't.
You say that, but
you're not going to charge him 44 bill.
But if I think that investing in companies that can increase your like if he turns that 44 bill into 100 bill,
yeah,
then he's gonna like
he's going to.
I don't.
Too.
I know.
And
I wouldn't. Did you see the exchange that he had with the guy from like the World Hunger Foundation?
Who? Klaus Schwab.
No,
Klaus Schwab.
No, that's the World Economic Forum.
Oh my God!
His,
Talk
like,
about a villain, dude.
Yeah. No. The
Look
world,
him up, Tony.
There was like people were trolling Elon on Twitter, sort of saying what you're saying, like, dude, you could just like give like end world hunger for $10 billion.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
And
well, that's a little absurd.
And he was engaging this guy from like the World Hunger Organization.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay. He's like, oh, can I? Okay, so show me how publish on Twitter here the accounting model.
Yeah.
That proves to me that with $6 billion, I can end world hunger.
Right.
And the guy just like didn't do it.
Yeah.
Like all he had to do was be transparent with their financials and show them how it was going to get used and prove empirically that money would solve the problem.
Yeah.
And the guy just responds to him. He's like, oh, like, let's meet up. Like, let's have a conversation. It's like, no, dude.
You have him right now.
You have him.
Yeah.
Publish it.
Yes.
And he just didn't.
Idiot.
Idiot. Yeah.
So stupid. Yeah. Hey, let's go meet in person. Like, no, dude. Like, right here. It's even better. Then you'll see him in person after.
Yeah, after.
He's going to be like, cool, bet.
He's like, okay.
I'll write you the check.
Yeah, props to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You came through. So
idiot.
Yeah, I mean, he still could probably do it.
I know.
But because the accounting matters.
Yeah.
I know. If you want to spend, you don't want to just give $6 billion that is then dead. You want to like invest in an infrastructure that makes that $6 billion continue to give water to everybody in the world,
food,
sustainably.
Yeah,
like you want to invest the money in a sustainable model to solve the problem long term.
Yes.
Not just like buy a bottle of water for everybody and then it's over.
And that's the whole thing. Like, and I totally agree with you because if you look historically at people who win the Powerball, for example, they end up losing all the money.
Right.
Because why?
They buy a house.
They spend it. No education.
They get a mortgage for a house they can't afford.
Yes. Yep. And all the other stuff by, this person, that, it's just education is really what it comes down to, is being financially smart and all that jazz. But yeah, I totally agree. You can't just give the world $6 billion to solve food. Let's say that was the price.
Well, you look at what just happened with the COVID bailout. I mean, everybody got $1,200.
Yeah.
What did that do?
That's first $1,200. It's like rent. You know what I mean, for most people.
No, I know, but it's just like it doesn't. I'm not saying that it wasn't nice for some people to get that.
Oh, of course.
But it didn't.
It's not going to solve anything.
It causing the. I mean, inflation right now is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
That like it's bad.
Yeah, I think the stat is in the last year or something like
10%.
They've printed more money in the last year than they have in the entire existence of the United States, or some crazy shit like that.
The line is
some absurd number.
It's a vertical line of the money supply.
Yeah, it's gonna pop.
Gas prices basically doubled.
Yep. Food.
What did your heating? How much did your heating bill go up? How much?
No, not much.
Mine went up. I was like shocked. It was like double.
But you are in a different area too. You know what I mean? We live in
not that different, but it's
bigger space too. I'm small. My place is like this basically.
But I mean that food, dude. Like I spend like all my money on food.
Yeah, yo,
Ridiculous.
Gas and food.
Yeah.
Literally, the gas is crazy.
Oh, it's brutal.
And he drives a Dodge Charger, so you can imagine him. Vroom vroom.
I burned through a lot of gas.
And through a quarter mile at a time.
I'm gonna have a quarter mile at a time.
That's the.
I try not to feel bad about spending money on food just because it's not
need
worth
it?
the guilt.
Yeah.
You need it. Yeah. You need
Yeah,
it.
and honestly, like they know I love like to go out and eat too. Like I don't
He's
feel
the worst with it.
I don't feel guilty because it's like, dude, I want this right now.
Yeah.
and that makes me happy. And
It's a very present
thing.
thing to purchase.
Yes.
Right.
It's totally, and it's like good for your body,
Yep.
ideally.
Yes.
But it's totally in the moment.
Yeah. I know.
And that's a good thing to spend money on. It's an experience.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh yeah, especially with Mike, because Mike starving versus Mike not hungry at all is like night and day. It's great.
Speak for yourself.
Yo, no, Renee.
We like to keep him fed.
All of them. First of
All
all.
of us. All
Yeah. Renee's probably worst, and then me, and then Tony's the best. He could go a long time without getting angry, and then but once he crosses the line.
No, yeah, it gets like, dude, we gotta, especially like when like we first started doing Downtime. When I first came here, Mike like never ate. I felt,
Yeah.
and it'd be like literally like Mike,
Yes.
it's almost 5 o'clock, and we haven't eaten at all today.
Yeah.
Can we get some food?
Yeah, I know. It's just because you know how it is. You're grinding.
No, yeah, exactly. That's the reason.
But no,
I just started doing some delivered meals. Honestly, it's really good. They're organic.
Oh, cool.
It takes so much less time, and you just throw them. They don't even come frozen. They come like really cold, and you freeze a few. But like you just throw it in a frying pan and heat it up, and it's like the
cool.
salmon tastes amazing.
Yeah.
Is it like a HelloFresh thing or
It's similar.
similar?
It's
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that. It
like,
saves time too.
A free name drop. They're called Trifecta.
Trifecta.
Okay, cool.
And honestly, I tried the what was that one?
HelloFresh.
Yeah, I
Fresh.
tried, and it wasn't
Not that fresh.
No, this one is actually.
Oh, not so fresh.
Because if it comes frozen, it's
Yeah.
like you never get the chance to actually taste it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like once it's been frozen once, it's a different
Yeah, definitely.
thing.
It is.
So the fact that you get a few meals and you don't have to throw them in the freezer,
Yeah.
it's better, and it saves so. I don't have time.
Yeah, I know.
In the morning, like I'll just throw like a full meal in the morning and just have like a real meal for breakfast.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, exactly. Instead of like a bar or whatever.
yeah.
A bar,
Yeah, like a. It's like oh god, dude.
What was that?
Yeah, dude. I'm gonna ask you just 2 questions real quick. One is, what's a book that you've read or that you're reading? You could do both. You can answer both if you are reading one. That you love and that like has influenced your life in a negative way. No, I'm joking.
Oh God, I was an English major, UVM, so I read a lot of books.
God, he's got like 100 in his head right now.
It's like, what's my mood more so? And, that question becomes a question more so, what is my current mood?
Okay, cool.
Because there's a lot, but I guess I would say Dharma Bums right now, because we've been, I don't know, just kind of the nature of this conversation. It's by Kerouac.
What's it about?
It is about him and this guy, Jaffe Ryder, who just like climb these mountains and just explore and
Cool.
stay in this cabin and just party. And it's hard to explain. Like, have you read any of Kerouac's stuff?
No.
You haven't read On the Road?
No.
Oh, dude.
Start there, you're saying.
Yeah, start. Well, I might even say start with Dharma Bums. It is Kerouac was like a beat writer from like the 60s. And there was kind of this whole group of writers with like Ken Kesey and Kerouac and Neil Cassidy. You know this Dead song Cassidy?
No, I'm not a huge
Not a dead guy. What about I'm trying to think what could overlap. You know, have you heard of like the electric Kool-Aid acid test or One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest was written by Ken Kesey,
Okay.
who was the guy behind the acid tests that the Grateful Dead participated in, which were basically like these jams where everybody would be tripping acid.
Right.
Or like some of the craziest recordings
Yeah.
of all time. And so the Electric Kool-Aid Acid Test is another amazing book by Tom Wolfe, who's a legit journalist. And you've seen like the magic, the psychedelic school bus.
Yeah.
That bus was driven by Neil Cassidy, who is a character in On the Road. And it was basically Ken Kesey was in the back, and they were just like these hippies, like parading across the country, just like doing acid and like, going to the limits of consciousness. And yeah, there's just like this whole cluster of writers from that time they're amazing that I love. But Dharma Bums is really just about like living with a rucksack and traveling, and just the way that he writes, even just like about something as simple as like eating breakfast. That kind of there's this one scene where they're just at this diner, and just the way that he describes the eggs and coffee. I don't know why it's so cool to me.
Yeah.
But like, it is.
Yeah.
It's just, and it's very much just like a liberating book about, very anti-materialism. And yeah, dude, you gotta check out Kerouac.
I will. No, I definitely will.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's dope. Never. I feel like that's we usually get more like what are they, like self-help books? I'd say a lot of people.
Yeah, what's the one with the how to win friends or whatever?
How to win and influence friends or something. I don't know. That's not my thing.
Yeah, no,
that one isn't.
Yeah, no, I like nonfiction stuff too, but I think the books that have probably had the most profound impact on me have mostly been fiction. But like I did just start reading this crazy book called Breath, which is by this guy James Nestor. It is completely insane about how much breath impacts your life and how almost no one even thinks about it at all. Most people don't think about their breathing at all.
No.
And mouth breathing actually destroys your health. And nose breathing makes your health
Isn't that crazy?
dramatically better. Like if you take like 5-second inhales and exhales through your nose, like for a significant amount of time, or just always, as much as possible, you can. I think that the evidence in this book points that you can extend your life significantly.
Oh, I bet.
And your nasal cavities literally open up, so you're giving your brain oxygen. Like, you can the amount of like width of your nasal cavity that you can change, and like it's just shocking. And like snoring, sleep apnea, all these things are so bad for you. If you snore, you have to start breathing through your nose aggressively. You'll die if you.
Tony, you heard him? He's
Do we have a snorer?
Yeah, I've been told I snore.
Dude, this is what you should do. First of all, check out the book Breath. What he did is when he sleeps, he got this special type of tape, which even if you do this for just like a couple weeks, apparently can have you'll stop. You put this little piece of tape on your mouth when you sleep. It's not like it's
like
not
double stick or something. Like,
there's this one type. I'll find it when I get home, and I'll send you the type of tape that he found, because you don't want tape that like tastes weird.
Yeah.
Right.
But you just do that little piece of tape over your lips, and then that it forces your body to breathe through its nose overnight, and it just opens itself up.
Whoa.
Over time.
I'll try that.
Yeah.
I hope it's gaff tape, dude.
Yeah, I know.
And there's people who can like they can make their hand like red hot just through breath.
And like focusing on
Tibetan monks and
Yeah,
stuff.
really?
Yeah.
I was telling Renee that she doesn't believe me. Remember, because you.
believed you.
No, she always doesn't get what is it?
I don't get
Blood circulation to her
my middle fingers.
to her fingers. Yeah, so I'm like focus on it.
Women don't have good circulation to their fingers.
It's women's fault.
Is that a fact?
It is a fact.
Oh, is it?
It's a fact that women have less circulation to their fingers than men do.
Why is that?
Because we're elite.
Your bodies are very different.
Alphas.
That I do know.
I believe you.
Breathe through your nose.
I have to do some
Yeah,
research on that.
yeah, that's it. Just breathe through your nose. You'll get more.
Renee's definitely a mouth breather.
Oh, 100%.
Oh.
Oh, wait, look at her. She's breathing with her mouth right now.
That's a jab.
Are you jabbing me?
Sure, I'm
Yeah.
jabbing you.
Okay, and then my last question is, what's some advice you'd give to a young you out there? Like 18, let's say. Like 18.
12 even.
Yeah, even 12.
I like younger than that, high school, like freshman in high school, sophomore.
No, that's like 13.
13,
Yeah, 13.
14.
We'll do We'll do high school age. How about that? All high school.
Yeah.
I think that I would have pushed myself to give less of a fuck just generally about, social stuff. I was probably like, I didn't really burst out of my shell in terms of like girls and stuff until a little bit like later in high school because I was just like, nervous.
Same, me
Like,
too.
it was just like I was small. I was like 100 pounds as a sophomore.
Right.
And, I just know that there's probably opportunities that I easily could have had just by not being a bitch and just like going for it.
Yeah.
But it's really hard to just go for it.
It is.
It is.
I know.
Terrified.
Oh
but-
my god! I remember being young and like the classic. The girl's there. Go talk to the girl. You literally cannot talk to the girl.
You're
It's
just
like
but
you're
this-
leaning
but talking-
towards them, but you just can't move.
Yeah.
You're like, ugh.
talking to the girl is just like it's symbolic of everything.
yes, yeah, it
Because
is.
once you do that,
yes.
your whole everything, you start taking that. Yeah.
Every obstacle in life you're gonna face
always- yeah.
starts with that one girl.
It's so true.
Yeah.
Yep.
I never thought of it that
I
way.
think like and then you do see like you have those friends who like even in middle school they just like went for it like real early.
Yeah,
And they just always kind of had that spark of not giving a fuck.
yeah.
And that is just you want to develop that
Muscle,
as
yeah.
early as possible. And even like if it doesn't, it always feels better to get denied if you did it. Because then you can get it out of your head and you
Yeah.
go on to the next one and you don't
Yeah.
like fixate on like some crush
Oh, what if?
for like
the
a
what if.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Brutal.
I know.
it is, and then it can become so satisfying. Like even getting denied feels good. You turn that into a positive, and then because if you take enough swings, like it's gonna happen.
Yeah, law of averages,
Law of
Tony.
averages.
Yes. Yes.
That's one of our we have a sports show in Barnes. It's always like law of averages. Always.
Yeah.
I mean, I like that. I
Yeah.
haven't heard that. That's
Yeah.
It's truth.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love it, dude.
Talk to 100 girls, one of them.
Yes.
Bound to say yes.
Well, yeah. And,
Yeah.
I mean, the same person will just be so scared in their own head
Forever.
for all of
Oh,
high school.
yeah.
Maybe like a
Yeah.
lot of people will go
Into adulthood.
Into adulthood. Yeah.
Like, and there's still that same scared high school.
Yeah, and that
person.
mentality will like translate to other
Work
situations
and
as well.
You know people you've met.
Yep.
Like
I have
work
a
and
friend who is not like this. He's like a very confident guy and is very outgoing generally. But he, I asked him, have you ever asked for a raise? And he was like, no. And he's been working in this place for like 5-10 years. And they've given him like randomly like a little 5% bump. But I was like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And he's like, what should I ask for? And I was just like, at least 20%.
Yeah.
What's the worst that can happen? And yeah, it's just like, they say no.
Yeah.
They're not going to fire you for asking for a raise. In fact, they'll respect you more because you asked. Worst case is they say no.
Yeah.
And he, thought about it. And then like a couple months later, he hit me up and he was like, dude, like it happened.
He got the raise?
And he got the raise.
Wow.
And it's,
You hear that, Tony?
yeah, it's,
Okay,
Just
Mike.
gotta ask.
just ask.
Yeah.
And it completely changed his perspective on it. And he's just, he feels so proud of himself. And
Yeah.
people just get irrationally scared for trying. And I don't know. I mean, like for me, when people that work with minds, if they don't asking, you have to ask. I want to be asked. I want people who work for me to ask me for a raise. I want them to be aggressive. I want them to be bringing me criticism of what's going on and, respectfully.
Yeah.
But
yeah, they just come in, kick your door open. You piece of shit.
yeah.
Thank you. No, appreciate it. You're gonna get a raise next week.
I mean, honestly, if it's done the right,
right way.
I could, I'll take some jabs.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like people who don't ask me, I won't
Yeah.
give it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go out of my way.
Yeah.
You have to go out of your way.
Yeah. For you to go out of your way in those instances, yeah, I get it. It's dope. Oh, I loved it, man. I had a great time. I hope
That's great.
Yeah, we can do this. We can do a part 2, which we don't usually do often.
We don't do that often.
Yeah, I think
I don't think we've ever really done.
we would do.
Two.
No, we haven't. I think like our conversations though are like part 2.
Worthy.
Yeah, like
definitely.
All right.
just because we could go deeper into like a lot of stuff.
I can go like another 2.5 hours.
Yeah. Well, you didn't say much this whole time, so I mean.
Well, dude, I was hard to get in. I mean,
No, we
I was a little scared, I guess.
Oh, you gotta ask the girl. That's awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much. I mean, go get the Minds app now. I mean, clearly the CEO is a dope person, and I'm vouching for him. And I just didn't vouch for Elon, so that should tell you guys something. And yeah, I mean, he doesn't have social media actually on anywhere except for the Minds app. So if you want to follow him, it's Bill Ottman with 2 T's and 2 L's. And guys, we'll see you next time. Bye.